Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Positively Spiritual. Welcome, beautiful soul. My name is Shannon Gilmore. I'm a peer support mentor, life coach, and your sister in arms. Woo-ha. How you doing? Soldier on. Well, today we're going to talk about something we all fall into without even realizing it. We fall into mental traps. These are automatic, knee-jerk thought patterns that make decisions for us when we're not even aware. Oh yeah. How you doing? Welcome. Sit down, get comfy, because we're going to unpack this. See, most people think they're making rational decisions, but what if I told you that 90% of your choices might be trauma-driven, not truth-driven? Ooh, ouch. And here's the thing. These traps don't come out of nowhere. They are survival mechanisms crafted, reinforced, and repeated from unresolved trauma, especially childhood wounds. So you're going to want to stick around this next week because we are going to delve into it. We're going to help heal those trauma wounds for you. We are here twice a day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening, every single day for you. So thank you. Hello, Resistor. Nice to see you. Welcome, everyone. It is nice to see you. Okay, so if you think that you can't get out of this rat trap, you're mistaken. You can do anything you want to do. You just got to put your mind to it, right? So we're not meant to stay stuck. We're here to get out, to get clear and walk in peace. So let's dive into the 10 most common traps. And I'll show you how to spot them, disarm them, and return to your authentic self. So grab your drink of choice. Mine is almond milk. Cheers. Let's do this. Number 1, trap 1. Hi, Joe. Hello, Diane. Nice to see you. Hello, Resistor. Welcome, everyone. Come on in. We're just starting the mind traps that we often play. There. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? I had my earbuds plugged into my phone. I was not ready for this video. Okay, so how you guys doing? So we are going to get into it. We are going to dive into the 10 most common mind traps, psychological traps that we can't see, but we tell ourselves. And these mind traps are what are keeping us stuck. So again, we're going to look at them. I'm going to show you how to spot them, show you how to disarm them, and return to your authentic self. So trap number 1, confirmation bias. This trap makes you see only what you want to see or what you fear to see. See, trauma survivors, we often adopt a core belief like I'm unlovable or people can't be trusted. So what happens? Well, you begin scanning your world for proof that confirmation, that proves that belief. That's confirmation bias. And what you go looking for, you're going to get. So yeah, your thoughts, again, we've talked about this. Your thoughts are not facts. So how to escape? Ask yourself, is this belief valid? Is it based on my truth or is it coming from fear and trauma? And journal your evidence against your belief. What if someone actually did love you unconditionally, but you couldn't see it because of your filter? Because you're not loving yourself unconditionally, so it's hard to see other people loving you the same way. So practice truth realignment. What? Well, that's easy. All you have to do is replace people always hurt me with not everyone is my enemy. And you can say, I'm learning to figure this out. I'm learning to discern who is safe and who is not. As God says, By your fruit, you will know them. So let people show you their fruit. Don't make a judgment whether you like them or not until you get to know them, until you really get to see the goods. I'm talking about the spiritual fruit, the fruit of faithfulness and patience and self-control, and that how do people treat others when nobody's looking? Like, does this person talk behind other people behind their back when you're like to you? This says everything about the person. So number 2, catastrophizing. I don't like that word. Catastrophizing, that's where you think everything's a catastrophe or could lead to a catastrophe. This trap makes a problem seem like the end of the world. Trauma teaches us to brace for impact, even when there is no danger. Hi, Jeanette. Nice to see you. Welcome. So how do you escape? Well, you use the phrase, is this a true emergency? Or does it just feel urgent? Ground yourself in the here and now. We've done this and it's easy. Just name 5 things that you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, and 2 things you can taste, and 1 thing you can smell. This gets you back to your body. And here's God's truth. Fear not, for I am with you. Isaiah chapter 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Isaiah chapter 41:10. That just kind of makes everything just seem so much better. Fear not, for I am with you. But you got to trust that. You got to trust it. God's presence is your shield. You don't have to make a mountain out of a molehill and think that every catastrophe is coming your way, because it's not. Number 3, trap number 3, the all or nothing thinking. Trauma creates this trap because it makes you choose safety or danger. It teaches your nervous system there's no middle ground. I'm either amazing or I'm worthless. Well, this relationship either is perfect or, yeah, it's doomed. I'm not going to expect too much from it. It's doomed. This kind of thinking kills grace. So how do you escape it? You introduce the in-between. See, it's not success or failure that should be something that you hold, you hang your hat on, basically. Look to the learning curve. Whether you succeed or fail, understand that there's growth and learning within whatever it is that you're going through. Practice self-talk like, maybe I didn't fail, maybe I just grew. Maybe I learned something. I learned something I didn't know before. Learn to understand that life isn't black and white. God paints the gradients. Have you noticed something already in these traps and how to get ourselves out of? Trauma and narcissism teach us to think a specific way. But these traps are teaching us to think the opposite. So trap number 4, overgeneralization. And you do hear the narcissist say this. You're always sick. Like if you say, oh, I'm not feeling good, I've got a headache today. Oh, you've always got a headache, or you're always sick. That used to drive me up the wall. It's like, can't I even take a sick day, Mr. Narcissist? I don't want to hear, oh, you're always sick. No, I'm not. I'm just not feeling good because I'm a woman, and a woman has things that we go through every month. So a little bit of patience would be nice, but no, with the narcissist, there's never patience. That's not even in the vocabulary. So everything is just So pathetic. Yeah, that's a word that you hear too, quite often, right behind the overgeneralization. So what overgeneralization is that you take one experience and make it the rule, the status quo. He cheated, so all men cheat. I was abused, so love isn't real. Everybody abuses. This trap comes from your brain trying to protect you, but it keeps you in patterns where healing cannot reach. So how do you escape? How do you get out? Well, you pause and you challenge your narrative. You know, you may get offended when other people challenge you, but you're not going to get offended when you challenge yourself because you're going to be ready. But if you're not ready, you won't challenge yourself, and you'll see other people challenging you. That's where you'll take offense. So wherever you take offense, that's where you need to be challenged. Yeah, that's just another nugget of information, and it's free advice. Take it or leave it if you want, but rewind and go over that because it does make sense. So challenge your narrative. Always ask yourself, is this always true, or is this just something familiar that I'm going through? Rewire the experience. Let new safe people disprove old unsafe patterns. Give people a chance. Give yourself a chance. Give the situation a chance. Declare to yourself, my past prepared me, but it does not define me. Trap number 5. Emotional reasoning. You feel afraid, so you decide it must be unsafe. You feel ashamed, so you conclude you must be bad. Well, trauma locks the body and emotions together. So you end up reacting from emotional memory, not present day truth. So how do you get yourself free from this? Well, when you feel that feeling or sense that sensation in your body and you start feeling that mind trap, you say it loud, I feel this. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel used. I feel manipulated. I feel abandoned. You let yourself speak the truth, but that doesn't mean it's true. Learn to observe your emotions, not obey them. Ooh. Let me say that again. Learn to observe your feelings, not obey them. Invite the Holy Spirit into your emotions. Let God's love speak louder than fear. Bathe your emotions in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. Love is patient, love is kind, it is not rude, it does not boast, it keeps no record of wrongs, it does not delight in evil, it rejoices with the truth, it always hopes, always trusts, love never fails. Give that to your emotions, give that to yourself, give that to your thoughts. Your thoughts are not facts, and your emotions, they're real, but they're generally evoked from feelings of the past. So if you're mindfully aware of your present, then you can be present with your feelings. And that's when they're most authentic. But when you're reverting to the past, I mean, your feelings are still real, but they're not authentic, rooted in the here and now. So trap number 6, mind reading. Doesn't the narcissist try to do this with us, and they expect us to read their minds? Yeah. So when you say, I know what they're thinking, that's assuming something bad, like rejection or disapproval or betrayal before it even happens. You're prejudging the person. You're not giving them a fair shake. It's self-sabotage in disguise. Mind reading is born from neglect, criticism, or emotional enmeshment. If you were never safe to ask what others really meant, you learn to guess and you prepare for the worst. So how do you get out from under this? Well, you replace the assumptions with questions. What did you mean by that? I heard some tone in your voice. Are you okay? I just want to clarify, is if I did anything wrong, you can talk to me about it. Check your projections. Am I seeing them or am I reliving someone else? Ooh, that's interesting. And here's a truth bomb. You don't need to guess people's thoughts. It's not your business to know what they're thinking. And it's not your business to know what they think about you. Instead, if you know your own worth, then what people think about you and how they convey that or how they portray that just goes over your head and you don't even see it. Like, somebody could be so upset at you and judge you, but because you are so grounded in your self-worth, you won't even take it as judgment. The joke's on them then, isn't it? Because that's how the flaming arrows, no weapon shall formed against you shall prosper. That's how it prospers, when you start taking their judgment before they even had a time to express that judgment. But that weapon won't harm you, even though it's a weapon of judgment formed against you, when you're just like so satisfied in who you are and you're so secure in who you are and want to be. Other people's judgments, you won't even see it, you won't even feel it. And the joke's on them, because it will go back to them. So recognize that you don't need to guess people's thoughts. That's not what you're here for. Number 7, people pleasing. This is a huge one for trauma survivors. If love was earned, not freely given, well, then you learn to survive by pleasing. You trade your truth for peace. But people pleasing isn't love, it's self-abandonment. So, how do you get out from under this one? Well, you begin again asking yourself questions. See, if you notice already, these are all just questions that you ask yourself. It's about self-assessing, self-actualization, self-realization, being in the moment of now and being self-aware. That's how we undo the narcissist tricks, their traumas, their abuse. We become self-aware because the narcissist monopolizes or they take advantage of the areas within us that we are not yet self-aware. And their trauma that they project onto us creates a bigger distance in our lack of self-awareness. So to undo the trauma, we just become self-aware. So how do you escape people pleasing? You ask, am I being loving to myself or am I being afraid of rejection? Begin by saying no to small things, Build the muscle of boundary. God says that he trusts us with little so that he can trust us with much. Or if he trusts us with little, he will trust us with much. So start with the little things to trust yourself with the little things, then you'll be able to trust yourself with a lot. A lot of responsibility means a lot of boundaries, right? So if you have just these small little boundaries that you have for yourself, no, I won't eat after midnight, or no, I'm not going to have water before I go to bed, or yes, I'm going to go for a walk every morning for an hour. These small things are discipline for you. They're boundary keeping. And if you can trust yourself with a little, then you can trust yourself with a lot when the narcissist comes in or somebody comes into your life and has all these tries to step over all these boundaries, you're on it. No, no, yes, I'll do that. No, I won't do that. No, that's disrespect. I won't tolerate that. No, I won't. No, sorry. No, you're talking to the wrong person. I won't do that. No, no, I don't agree with that. No. So it's about practicing, putting things into practice. And remember that God did not call you to be liked. You are going to be hated because of Jesus. He called you to be truthful. And that's what this is, stepping into your truth. Monk mode, says Resistor. Absolutely. Play dumb. Yeah. No need for you to prove the world anything. Yes. Hello, Yoel. Nice to see you. How you doing? Yeah, so yeah, playing dumb, I've done that a lot of times too, where the narcissist has asked me for, what's your opinion on that? And I'm just like, I don't have an opinion. And I've wanted so bad to just say something, but I'm just like, what's the point? It's going to go over their head anyway. So I just like, I don't have an opinion. What do you mean? You always got something to say, Shannon. No, I just don't have an opinion on that. Huh. Well, I'm surprised you don't know. I don't have an opinion. And, or the person would ask me, what do you think about, politics, Trump or whatever? And I was just like, don't know. And it was like a week before, I'd be on fire talking about politics. Can you believe this? Can you believe? And they come back and they want to just, push my buttons and trigger me into a reaction. And I just, I don't know what you're talking about. What? Politics? Trump? Really? Trump? Yeah, don't you remember, Shannon? You said this about Trump. No, I don't remember saying that. Well, you did. You were really heated the other day when you said that. I sorry, I don't have an opinion on it right now. I can't tell you anything about that. Sorry. Yeah, like gray rock, monk mode, playing dumb. These are your perfect tools. The perfect tools to keep you safe. And it's our weapon of choice, and it's not a weapon, it's just a shield that keeps us safe from being manipulated. Like, once you're done, you're done. Like, you just don't want to be manipulated anymore. And you don't have to be. Once you see that you're in control of their manipulation, whether they manipulated you or not, it's like, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. So understand that God created you to be truthful to you. You have to be truthful to yourself because God is in you and God doesn't accept anything less. He needs you to be truthful so that he can dwell in your house. And your house is his temple. We got to represent. Oh yeah, it's about representing. We got to step up to the plate and represent. So mind trap number 8, sunk cost fallacy. You've invested so much time, effort, pain that you feel like you can't walk away. This was me. This keeps people in abusive jobs, toxic relationships, and hopeless goals. Trauma teaches loyalty to pain because pain is familiar. So how do you escape? Just because it costs you something doesn't mean it's worth something. Give yourself permission to just pivot. Let go. Walk away. Sometimes the most faithful thing that you can do is leave because it's no longer serving you. It's harming you. And leaving is the best, is the most loyal thing that you could do for you. So Joe says, I've come to the same conclusion, Cynthia. If I say anything in response, good or retaliatory, right, Resistor, monk mode. Yes, monk my mode. Yes. Yeah, you're darned if you do, darned if you don't. So if you say something, you're in the red. If you don't say something, you're also in the red. So you might as well keep your peace by, you know, if the narcissist is going to be agitated, well, you might as well just keep your peace while agitating the bear. Like, seriously, might as well make it, you know, what's in it for me. Yeah, you might as well make it beneficial for you this time. So trap number 9. I'm a failure. Yeah. And labeling yourself by calling yourself a failure, but also labeling others by saying they're a narcissist. I mean, we know that the people in our lives are narcissists because we've dealt with it, but just because we see one or two behavioral issues doesn't make them a narcissist. But labels reduce people to one dimensions, and trauma loves to simplify for safety. Labels trap, us in judgment. Excuse me, hang on. I better not start getting hiccups. Oh my gosh, they're violent. I had hiccups about a week ago and they were so violent, and I feel like they're wanting to come up. So please excuse me. I don't want to go yeah like that in your ear. That was a fake one, but they do sound like that. Maybe that's what we should do in front of the narcissist, fake hiccups. I'm sorry. I know that's rude, but it's funny. They're trying to trigger you, and all you got to say is, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's so funny. To me, it's hilarious. To me, it's hilarious. Now I can just see if you guys are standing in front of the narcissist and you just, want to go monk mode, but you're giggling your face off because you're thinking of, hiccuping in front of the narcissist. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Oh, all right. I'm over it. All right. So this labeling is a trap. Okay. Calling a spade is one thing, but labeling just to make yourself feel better by saying I'm the failure, they're the narcissist, they've done me wrong, they've done this, they've done that, they're covert, overt, Machiavellian, they're a psychopath. You can label them, but you know what, labeling isn't going to solve your issue, and your issue is you're traumatized. So you need to break free from the labeling. You stop labeling yourself and just reframe the trauma and start looking at it in a way that, okay, well, what is the narcissist? What did they do? What did this problem individual show me that I couldn't see myself? Well, they showed you that you were ignoring yourself, neglecting yourself, not loving yourself. So I may think I'm a failure, but God doesn't, and I'm thankful for that. No, Joe, you're not a failure. Not at all. No, your life has gone the way that it was meant to, because you've seen things, you've lived through things that, are trauma inducing. And look at you, you're on the other side of that. Many people don't get to come out on the other side relatively sane and healthy. Some people who have been traumatized do have mental breaks, and they don't want to live on this earth, and they end their lives before their time, and they make a mockery of their lives by living their life in a way that just allows the narcissist to win. So No, there's no failures. No, there's just a lot of pain that people have to go through, and you're one of the, you all are one of the fortunate ones, the blessed ones, the you're the miracle, because we all were traumatized by a narcissist in one shape or another, and that was to challenge the narcissist. That was to, we're here to help God. It doesn't matter if we see that or not. We're created by God, for God, through God. So, I mean, sometimes God only knows the reason, but God is with us. And God put you in this position because He knew you would come out of it. He believed in you. You were a thought in His mind. He believed in you. He thought of what you're going to go through and how the ending was going to be. And you satisfied His will. Like, it's His will that you're going through the lives that you're leading right now. And He's satisfied with you. You're not failures. No, it's our human limitations and our egos that try to, you're no good, and you're dumb, and you're stupid, and you're a failure, and you can't get anything right. Well, yeah, okay, ego, we've tried it your way. We've tried to do life your way, and it's not getting us anywhere. So let me try it my way and stop projecting your persona onto me, and let me be the adult for us and do this. Like, get the negative thinking out of the way. Like, man, it's just the way the ego is, it's so insidious. So labels trap us in judgment instead of compassion. And God says, don't judge, or else by the same measure that you use to judge somebody else with, you're going to be judged also. So, okay, if we can't judge, well, what is there left? Compassion. Hi, Kevin. Nice to see you. Hi, everyone. I also struggled to find balance and peace after lodging the police report against the one who assaulted me years ago. It doesn't help that the assailant is related to the former narc. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kevin. So, are you getting, like, are you in therapy? Like, what's going on? You're welcome to share, and you guys are also welcome to share with me personally in an email, shannongilmore@protonmail.com. That's my email. So please try not to label yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, because labeling traps you into judgment. You judge yourself, you judge other people, and then you just get stuck. So try replacing labels with stories. Say, I'm not a failure. I'm someone who had a hard season, and that's okay. I'm learning and I'm growing. And see others as souls, not categories. I mean, narcissists, okay, we know who they are. We know that they are children of the curse. We can't get away from that. But yeah, give people a chance to prove themselves, prove to you whether they are a narcissist or not. Because many people will go, oh, don't even get to know her. You know what? She's a narcissist. And that person had one encounter with them, and that person said, no, I don't want to go for a girls' night out, or I don't want to go shopping, and I don't want to sit around the table and go out for dinner with you guys, because it's the person's prerogative, because maybe she didn't want to be around somebody who gossiped, but no, because you're not, many people label you because you don't follow the status quo. You don't do the same things as you once did anymore. So you're changing. Oh, you're the narcissist. You're changing. You must think of all of us as low lives. So we're going to call you the narcissist. Yeah. So, yeah. But just, by your experience who a narcissist is. Uh, we're going to give that to ourselves, okay? We've been through this enough times. However, if I can just have us focus on ourselves and stop labeling ourselves, that would be great. That would be great, because God does actually rename you. He has a name for you, and he calls you chosen. He calls you beloved. He calls you redeemed, not broken, not a failure. I mean, I said that to God once myself. I said, I feel like I'm failing you, because the more I reach for you, the more emptier my hands feel, because I'm reaching for your cloak, Jesus, and I can't, my hands come up empty. And Jesus, I heard him say, you're not failing, you're growing. So God has a lot of mercy for us, a lot of mercy. So Kevin says, I lost my maternal grandmother in 2022. It was a thing which brought regret. I am going to see the psychologist next Tuesday about my feelings post police report. Good for you. That's awesome. So yes, I also agree. We label ourselves harshly after narcissistic abuse. Yes, because they basically label us. That's a good comment, because they do label us when they discard us. They may say that we're too sensitive. You're not the person that I married. Where's the man that I fell in love with? Where's the woman who, now you're just so needy and pathetic. Like, they say things like this to us. And so we end up labeling ourselves based on that. And why we believe that's true is because we take in that feeling. Those feelings then are projections from the narcissist. If the narcissist didn't do what they did to us, we wouldn't be feeling those. So that's from them, not from us. So yeah, be careful and watch the labeling. Watch how you label yourself. Trap number 10, future tripping. You live in tomorrow's pain today by saying, well, what if I lose it all? What if I never heal? And anxiety takes over and you lose the moment of now. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you. Welcome. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. If you do enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. We are here 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. We are here twice a day for you, coming and bringing you up and coming personal messages in video format so that you can work out your healing your way. You can take what resonates and leave the rest. Cherry pick this video, cherry pick this channel. It's not going to hurt my feelings any. But at the end of our nightly videos, we do read a chapter from scripture. So you're welcome to hang with us, because in just a few minutes, we're going to get to the scripture. There's important links in the description of this video. And yeah, my email is shannongilmore@protonmail.com. And yeah, we're here for you. So if you guys want to talk, scoop me off an email and we can discuss some things. So, trauma conditions you. More specifically, conditions the nervous system to prepare for the next threat. So that's not living, that's reliving. That's not even surviving or thriving. That's just reliving the trauma over again. And that's by ruminating over these negative thoughts. And negative thoughts are not facts. And these negative thoughts that grab hold of your feelings, which leads your body to believe that this is real. So because your brain can't tell the difference between reality and fantasy, or what is real, or what is made up, and what isn't real, what's factual and made up. I mean, so because your body starts feeling this real raw emotion, your brain takes it as fact. And that's how a belief is formed. So when you say, well, what if I lose it all? I'm not going to think about tomorrow. I'm just going to go to bed and sleep it off, and hopefully I can wake up into next week and it'll be a new day and something bright will come my way and happen to me, and I'll just forget all of this. Or, you know what? I don't even want to start healing because there's no hope for me. Maybe I can't heal. Well, that's anxiety. And whatever you tell yourself you can't, you won't do. You're right. You tell yourself you can't do it, you're right. You tell yourself you can do it, you're right. It's all about your belief. You believe you can't, you won't. You're right. But if you believe that you can, you are also right. So trauma conditions the nervous system to prepare for the next threat. And that's not living. So how do you escape? You come back to the moment of now. We've shared with you guys on this channel. Breathe. Disconnect the monkey mind by listening to yourself breathe. And not from your chest, from your diaphragm. And ask, is there any danger right now? No. Is this just the ghost of danger? Yes. Anchor in this promise. Do not worry about tomorrow. Matthew chapter 6, verse 34, because tomorrow has worries of its own. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Ooh. The only moment that exists is this moment of now. The past and the future does not exist. So these mental traps are not your fault. They are your responsibility, however, and you're not broken. You're just wired for survival. But now God is inviting you to move beyond survival and into your sovereignty. God wants you walking in truth. God wants you living in peace. So every time you spot one of these traps, choose truth instead. You're rewiring your brain. You're healing not just for yourself, but for generations. So if this spoke to you, I'd like to invite you to take a next step with me. Let's walk through your story together. My mentorship is open, and I'd be honored to walk with you in your healing journey. The link is in the description of this video, and let's just step into clarity together. When you're ready, I can help you heal. So remember, your mind is a battlefield, but you're not fighting alone. Okay, you've got this channel here. You've got God first and foremost. You've got this channel. You've got videos here. You've got the chat. So we're all family. So for those of you who are coming new into this channel, welcome. It's nice to see you. Welcome to the family. And for those of you who are revisiting us again, as we have loyal watchers, you guys are so loyal. You come to both our lives every day. And you talk with us. So thank you, everyone. It's so nice to see you. And it's so nice that you guys feel like this is your home space. So Kevin says, I don't know if it's helpful, but Melanie Tonya Evans once said that we have to be willing to lose it all to gain it. Trying to hold on to what we never had isn't for us. Yeah, I would have to say I agree with that. Yeah. So that changed my mindset. If someone leaves because of our trauma, then we were not friends to begin with. Yeah. Just realized it's hard to breathe like that while eating pizza. That's cute. Or sister. Yeah. Just like, don't breathe with your mouth full of food, right? So that's cute. That's funny. You have good things to say, Shannon. Why wouldn't we? Aw, that's so nice. So Joe says, I feel like I'm walking in more truth day to day. Good. That's, that's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to feel secure, that I want you to feel safe while you heal. And however you heal, it's, you got to feel safe while doing it. And if this channel does it for you, then, I'm honored. I'm really honored. I am. Like, this is just amazing. And I just want to say thank you, everyone. It's been, it's been rough. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. And I've never had a video channel like this before. And it's amazing to be put in this position where I get to learn and grow and heal with you guys. Like, we see each other's healing progress. And it feels good to not be alone. It feels good, like, not that I want you guys to be troubled, but it's like we wouldn't have met each other any other way. I would have never known that you guys existed, and you guys are beautiful people. I want you to know that you guys are awesome, and I'm looking forward to our treats. Just think, this time next year, we're probably going to be planning our retreats. That's pretty cool. Yoel says, one advantage we have that narcissistic people don't have, they can't heal. Exactly, they can't. And that's pretty tough. But they want it that way. They love who they are. So Diane says, so you have hope for your future, declares the Lord. Jeremiah chapter 31:17. Thank you, Diane. You always have the perfect scriptures. Kevin says, sometimes I realize that in our most physically unglamorous moments, such as after waking up, God accepts our prayers as we are. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's amazing that God accepts us just as we are. That's right. And Yoel says, yes, it is a tragedy, because just think of, we fell in love with their potential. We know what they're capable of. We know that there's good hidden in them somewhere, but they don't want to bring it out. So it's like, just knowing that they could be the person, the best person that they could be, like, I don't know. It's obviously not for us to see. If God changes them, then may he change them, but it's not for us to witness. They were in our lives for a huge lesson. And for that, I will always love the narcissists. I will love my parents, not as my parents, because I never knew them as my parents, but I love them for, without the trauma from them, I don't know if I would be this strong of a Christian. Like, I don't even know if I would have been a Christian. My life could have been so much different if I didn't unpack this trauma and work through it. And if this, like I've said this before, if the trauma is what brings us to Christ, then I'd gladly do it again. I would. I have no regrets. Like, no, because in this moment of now is all we have. So if this moment of now is where we're finding security and peace and wholeness and wellness, then everything else just doesn't matter now. Like, we've dealt with it. yes, we validated the pain, but the pain didn't invalidate us. And I think for me, that's kind of where I wanted to hang on to that pain, because I was scared that if this pain is all I've ever known, it's part of my identity, and people in my life have tried to take my identity away from me. So if I don't have this pain, then what do I have? Who am I? And God is telling us, well, you're my child, so there's your identity. Your identity is found in me. Get to know me, and you get to know who you are. And that's pretty awesome. So Kevin says, after narcissistic abuse, I thought of myself as broken a few occasions, but then learned that our words frame reality. So we are actually not broken, but regrouping and healing. Amen. A few people were curious as to why I became Orthodox Christian after years of being nominally Protestant churches. It was the various cries which pushed me to ask questions. Good for you. Amen. Well done. Well, we're glad to have you. It's good to see you. It's good to see all of you guys. So God seemed to be prompting me to search in the liturgy. Resistor, says Yuel, even though we were traumatized by narcissists, people, we came out to be better and better. Go bless. Yeah, that is true. That is true. You know, trauma does help to create, trauma helps to awaken us to self of who we truly are, and it helps to keep us humble. I know I've asked God, keep me humble, and trauma does keep you humble. It can make you bitter, but after you work out that bitterness, yeah, you're humble, and that's what makes your heart pliable and soft, and you know, your heart is able to wrap around others and just give them a hug and share the love and joy. So yeah. You have been falling away from your faith lately. Well, now's the time to get rooted in the Bible. So let's do that for you, Cynthia. Let's read scripture. Oh, and my Bible upside down. So, oh, you guys wanna read Old Testament? Okay. We're gonna read about King Solomon. 1 Kings chapter 11. King Solomon, however, loved many foreign women besides Pharaoh's daughter, Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Sidonians, and Hittites. So these women are part of the Nephilim tribes. They were from nations about which the Lord had told the Israelites, you must not intermarry with them, because they will surely turn your hearts after their gods. Nevertheless, Solomon held fast to them in love. He had 700 wives of royal birth and 300 concubines, and his wives led him astray. So Solomon grew old, his wives turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God. And this kind of this happens with us too. We become like King Solomon, and you know, we can judge him. I know I judged him. I still stand in judgment of him. Excuse me. I will say he was one of the he was a narcissist, and you know, he mirrors basically what we do, because the narcissist turns our hearts away from God, and we are not fully devoted to God as we want to be or have been. But God is merciful, and all we have to do is open the Word of God, read His Word, and just, when we have our negative thoughts are what keep us away from God. So you want to stay with God, you want to stay close to God, start thinking good thoughts. So, as Solomon grew old, his wives turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God, as the heart of David his father had been. He followed Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, and Moloch, the detestable god of the Ammonites. So Solomon did evil in the eyes of the Lord. He did not follow the Lord completely, as David his father had done. On a hill east of Jerusalem, Solomon built a high place for Chemosh, the detestable god of Moab, and for Molech, the detestable god of the Ammonites. He did the same for all his foreign wives who burned incense and offered sacrifices to their gods. So basically, he was catering to his wives, did what they wanted him to do. And isn't that exactly what the narcissist does? The narcissist wants us to cater to them, and we end up doing it. The Lord became angry with Solomon because his heart had turned away from the Lord and God of Israel, who had appeared to him twice. Although he had forbidden Solomon to follow other gods, Solomon did not keep the Lord's command. So the Lord said to Solomon, "Since this is your attitude, and you have not kept my covenant and my decrees, which I commanded you, I will most certainly tear the kingdom away from you and give it to one of your subordinates. Nevertheless, for the sake of David, your father, I will not do it during your lifetime. I will tear it out of the hand of your son. Yet I will not tear the whole kingdom from him, but will give him one tribe for the sake of David, my servant, and for the sake of Jerusalem, which I have chosen." Then the Lord raised up against Solomon an adversary, Hadad the Edomite, from the royal line of Edom. Edom is the name change of Esau, Jacob's twin brother, the guy who disinherited himself for a bowl of soup. So earlier, when David was fighting with Edom, Joab, the commander of the army who had gone up to bury the dead, had struck down all the men in Edom. Joab and all the Israelites stayed there for 6 months until they had destroyed all the men in Edom. But Hadad, still only a boy, fled to Egypt with some Edomite officials who had served his father. They set out from Midian and went to Paran. Then, taking people from Paran with them, they went to Egypt, to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, who gave Hadad a house and land and provided him with food. Pharaoh was so pleased with Hadad that he gave him a sister of his own wife, Queen Tahpenes, in marriage. The sister of I'm saying that word wrong, Tahpenes, bore him a son named Genubath, whom Tahpenes brought up in the royal palace. There Genubath lived with Pharaoh's own children. While he was in Egypt, Hadad heard that David rested with his ancestors and that Joab, the commander of the army, was also dead. Then Hadad said to Pharaoh, "Let me go, that I may return to my own country." "What have you lacked here that you want to go back to your own country?" Pharaoh asked. "Well, nothing," Hadad replied. "But do let me go." And God raised up against Solomon another adversary, Rezon, son of Eliada, who had fled from his master Hadadezer, king of Zobah. When David destroyed Zobah's army, Rezon gathered a band of men around him and became their leader. They went to Damascus, where they settled and took control. Rezon was Israel's adversary as long as Solomon lived, adding to the trouble caused by Hadad. So Rezon ruled in Amram and was hostile towards Israel. So God is sharing with King Solomon, okay, when you're gone, the kingdom of Israel is going to be torn into. That's, you know, for your mistakes, your country, your kinsman is going to have to pay the price. But until then, you yourself, you're going to have to fight off two enemies that are coming strictly for you. They're coming to overthrow Israel, and you're going to have to fight them because they're coming after you. They want Israel, and they're coming after you. So they're the thorn in your side because of your transgressions. Also, Jeroboam, son of Nebat, rebelled against the king. He was one of Solomon's officials, an Ephraimite from Zeradah, and his mother was a widow named Zeruiah. Here's the account of how he rebelled against the king. Solomon had built the terraces and had filled in the gap in the wall of the city of David his father. Now Jeroboam was a man of standing, and when Solomon saw how well the young man did his work, he put him in charge of the whole labor force of the tribes of Joseph. About that time, Jeroboam was going out of Jerusalem, and Ahijah, the prophet of Shiloh, met him on the way, wearing a new cloak. The two of them were alone out in the country, and Ahijah took hold of the new cloak he was wearing and tore it into 12 pieces. Then he said to Jeroboam, "Take 10 pieces for yourself, for this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. See, I'm going to tear the kingdom out of Solomon's hand and give you 10 tribes. But for the sake of my servant David and the city of Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, he will have 1 tribe. I will do this because they have forsaken me and worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Molech, the god of the Ammonites, and have not walked in obedience to me, nor done what is right in my eyes, nor kept my decrees and laws as David, Solomon's father, did. But I will not take the whole kingdom out of Solomon's hands. I have made him ruler all the days of his life for the sake of David, my servant, whom I chose and who obeyed my commands and decrees. I will take the kingdom from his son's hands and give you 10 tribes. I will give you 1 tribe to his son, so that David, my servant, may always have a lamp before me in Jerusalem, the city where I chose to put my name. However, as for you, I will take you, and you will rule over all that your heart desires. You will be king over Israel if you do whatever I command and walk in obedience to me and do what is right in my eyes by obeying my decrees and commands, as David my servant did. I will be with you. I will build you a dynasty as enduring as the one I built for David, and will give Israel to you. I will humble David's descendants because of this, but not forever." Solomon tried to kill Jeroboam, but Jeroboam fled to Egypt, so to Shishak, the king, and stayed there until Solomon's death. As for the other events of Solomon's reign, all he did and the wisdom he displayed, are they not written in the book of the Annals of Solomon? Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel 40 years. Then he rested with his ancestors and was buried in the city of David, his father. And Rehoboam, his son, succeeded him as king. Wow. That is, that was a heavy read, and that we can probably take 2 or 3 hours dissecting that and going through First and Second Kings and the book of Jeremiah and the book of Isaiah, and Lamentations, because what follows is after King Solomon dies, his son takes over, Jeroboam takes over, and what happens is there's fighting amongst Israel, and because of that fighting, then the Pharaoh comes in, ransacks Jerusalem, then the king of Assyria comes in, and then after that, the most famous king comes in, King Nebuchadnezzar, and takes off the leftovers. And it's God said that people will be given over to Babylon and to the other kingdoms for 70 years, because for 70 years, that's a generation. These people, Israel didn't worship God. And so King Solomon, he, because he was king, like we don't know how he ruled. And yeah, at times he probably was a nice guy, but I mean, this man had 300 concubines, um, and all his wives. I mean, like he, something's got to give. Either the kingdom suffers or his wives suffer from his neglect. Like, you can't have, like, you know, that many people that you're giving your body away to and paying attention to. Like, it's just, how is that even done? How does that even make sense? So God says basically through Solomon's actions is that he put his wives first. He put his concubines first. He put human flesh. He put his yoo-hoo before God. Sorry to say it like that, but he did. And he walked in the flesh. He didn't walk in self-control, and he didn't walk in trust with God, because many of his wives, the princesses that he married, um, he married as alliances from other kingdoms. He married, in and made alliances instead of showing people who he belonged to, the God of the Hebrews. He instead formed alliances with the surrounding kingdoms, which, yes, King David did as well, but the alliances that King Solomon formed were more of a friendship to keep the peace. If we're friends, we're peaceful. But King David, no, he kept the peace through knowing that he put the fear of the God of the Hebrews in the other territories. Like, people feared the God of the Hebrews, whereas with King Solomon, no, nobody feared King Solomon. Nobody feared the God of the Hebrews. And yeah, so it was just a totally different rulership back then. And I think how this pertains to narcissism, well, you can see that yourself. I mean, we attract the King Solomons of modern day instead of the Boazes, or the Ruths, or the Proverbs 31 woman. We attract the Jezebels, and we attract the King Solomons. Yeah. So we're learning, we're growing, and we're learning, as this is allowing us to see how strict and rigid we must become in our way of thinking. And this rigidness is not, oh, I got it. No, it's not about fear. It's about thinking differently and discerning. Well, gee, if I go and marry 100 women or 100 men, what is that going to do to my soul? What is that going to do to my faith? What is that? I have to be at the beck and call, or at least show up sometimes. Like, I've got to show up for dinner sometime this week. I've got, okay, 7 days a week. All right. Well, I've got 100 wives or 100 husbands. You do the math. One dinner per person each day. So you're never in your palace. You're never at home, because you're always going out. You've got to serve and make an appearance to all these 100 wives or women or men. Like, you're gonna be tired. You're gonna want some time for yourself. And then what happens? Your work suffers, your bank account dwindles, you're not paying attention to your family, your children, maybe your pets, maybe your brothers and sisters, your parents might need you, and you're like, no, my wife comes first. My 99th wife, I've got to go to dinner with them. And no, like that's just how King Solomon thought. And that's how narcissists are. They're the King Solomons. I mean, look at how they can't stay loyal to you. They're cheating on you probably even before they even meet you, while they meet you, while you're dating. The first date, they probably came from a tryst, afternoon delight kind of thing. You just never know with these people. They can't be trusted. So, yeah, so research King Solomon. We've done a study on him. I'm not sure if I still have the video up, but I did a study, and we can do that on King Solomon for a Bible study if you guys want, because it's thick, it's deep. But yeah, just in short, King Solomon mirrors the narcissists that we know today. I mean, they may say, oh, I love Jesus, but they're going to do, like, the narcissists are opportunists. So what do they do behind closed doors? For all you know, they could have practiced voodoo. Maybe they used to be an ex-Satanist. You don't know. How would you know? They're only going to tell you what you want to hear, and they're going to make it believable. They got their secrets. Oh, yeah, they got their secrets. So, yeah. So, Cynthia, being a baby mama is a bad setup rationally or relationally. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Sorry, I was just reading the comments. Thank you for being thank you for being so loving to each other on the panel, on the chat. It's so nice. You guys are awesome. You guys are so sweet. Yeah. Voodoo is an illusion Haiti practice. Voodoo is poorest country in the Caribbean. Yeah. You know, there's all sorts of religions, and it's just I've known somebody who claims to be Christian but practices or practiced Rubia. That's like Jamaican. There's just so, like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just so gross. But yeah, there's just a lot of things about the narcissist that we do not know. And, it's probably better that we don't know, but this is why you don't want to tangle with them, because, I mean, can you imagine being married, to King Solomon, knowing that he sacrificed babies to the fire? He sacrificed children, little babies, and you've got to go and try to make a baby of your own? Yeah. Like, I don't want to put the word, I don't want to speak out of turn here, But you can just imagine how corrupt King Solomon was. Narcissists can coerce us to have abortions, to do drugs, to, do things that are against our moral compass. So these women ruled over King Solomon and coerced him to do things. So would it be wrong to think that maybe King Solomon got his wives pregnant on purpose to sacrifice the children, his own children, to the fire? I don't know. But it doesn't look good for him. It does not look good for him. And these are, King Solomon is the person that rabbis and biblical scholars idolize. Oh, because he was the wisest man. You know what? His wisdom, yeah, he was the wisest man, but he corrupted his wisdom just like the enemy in heaven corrupted his wisdom. So it's just something to think about. We don't know what the narcissist has done. And thank God, God forgives us. We're forgiven. So, I know we've done things for the narcissist that have made us uncomfortable. And because we were uncomfortable, we tried it once or did it once and we're just like, no, or we just, stood up for ourselves and said no. And, that's, the narcissist does not have this compass in them that says, no, don't do that, it's wrong. I don't think there is anything that they can do that would make them feel uncomfortable. The only reason why they haven't done it yet is because they're probably scared of getting caught. They're not confident yet that they would get away with it. So, Diddy was a good example of a narcissist. Forced men and women to do things they hated or were not comfortable with, pushing taboo boundaries. Yeah, that, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we owe Justin Bieber an apology for what we did to him, jeering at him when he was very much groomed when younger into friendship with these creeps. Yeah, I can't imagine what like I stayed away from Justin Bieber and all of them. Like I just never listened to that music anyways, but I can't imagine what he has to live with that. And I truly hope Justin is getting, and all the victims of Diddy are getting counseling. Like that's like I can only fall back on, what I assumed my mother knew about the abuse that happened to me. And I blamed my mom. And I there's got to be a lot of forgiveness in that household, because parents are accountable. But yeah, I don't know. If it was my kid, I'd be like, I'm chaperoning, I'm going, I'm not leaving my child alone with you for 3 days. Like I don't know how that is done, because that's not how I grew up as. Like, yeah, I'm a Gen X kid, but still like my kids, because of my trauma and what I went through, I never had a babysitter for my kids until I knew that they could communicate and tell me. But that's me, and I'm not saying that I was perfect in raising my kids or anything like that. I'm not claiming to be perfect by any means, but it's just the way we were raised. Like I know even my foster mother would never let me stay over. Like, okay, I remember I remember when we went camping when I was 13 years old. And my sister, my foster sister, had a friend come camping with us. So the three of us, we latched onto the ranger, and we called him Ranger Rick Bob Bill because initially he wouldn't tell us his name. And so we just like, hi Ranger, and then we would Ranger Rob, Rick, Bill, and so that was just his nickname. So it's like Ranger Bob, Ranger Rick, or Ranger Bill, right? So, but I went off on my own. I was just wandering the campsite one day and I came across him and we started talking. And what he said to me now that I realize, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh, hell no, that wouldn't fly. When I was 13, we wore those tight jeans, and there was a jean label called Fancy Ass Jeans, and we wore them tight. And he did say, those jeans are pretty tight on you. And that was inappropriate because I was 13, he was 23. And he walked me back to the campsite, and my foster mother was there. And he said, if your daughter was old enough, I'd date her. And my mother made some comment like, oh yeah, she doesn't even shave her armpits yet. I remember being so freaking embarrassed. But you know what? Whether my foster mother clued in or not, the thing that she said was politely telling him inappropriate. Like she's underage. And if that were my daughter, I'd be kicking the shit out of this man. Like, I would go to his superiors and say, what the frick? Like, no. So I understand how things like this can happen, but it does happen to vulnerable kids. I was vulnerable. I didn't see him as creepy at all. And I went to horse camp when I was 13 that same summer. I went to horse camp, and there was a 23-year-old camp counselor by the name of Paul. And he was a pedophile. And he latched on to me, and I thought nothing of it. Like, I did feel uncomfortable, but I let things happen because I was vulnerable. He picked on me. And the other kids saw it. They tried to warn me about him. There's rumors about him, Shannon. And he was singling me out and paying attention at horse camp in front of all the other girls. And I just allowed it to happen. I don't know why or how, but all I know is because of my background of being abused as a young child, this wasn't right. It wasn't that I was a boy chaser. I wasn't that. I was like, wanted to just ride the horses. But predators can sense a vulnerability in a child, and they can sense the one child who's quiet, who won't say anything, and that was me, because I was taught not to say anything. So yeah, I can see how Justin Bieber would, and many of them were it's just, we got to do better. And we are doing better. That's why we're healing ourselves. So this won't happen ever again. Because we know, and we will go mama bear. Like, don't ever come between a parent and their child. Like, no, we're doing better and we're healing ourselves. So yeah. Damaged boundaries, yeah. There's no such thing as sleepovers in Asian cultures. No, I never let Scarlett, she never has had a sleepover ever. Because I just don't allow it. Never allowed it. So, yeah. My youngest sister became pregnant and married young at 26 because of this. Wow. Yeah. Thankfully, she is happily married and the guy really wanted to marry her. Amen to that. Yeah. Justin has Jesus. Yes, he does. Yeah. So a parent has to be present if you want to stay over at a friend's place. Yeah, chaperone. Yeah. Yeah, even adults can be in deep trouble staying over at others living. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The one who assaulted me used that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah. You, I hear you, Kevin. You never want to stay over at someone's house. But I was going to say, it's a terrible world we live in, and yes, it is. And now we're seeing the effects of what unconditional love that's absent. We're seeing what a world full of conditional love does to each other. It does harm. And, that's why we need unconditional love, and we're bringing it back. So, everyone, that's my time. And, after that conversation, that's just horrible. Narcissists and psychopaths and evil people do such damage, don't they? But we are healing. So just take rescue in God. Like just really, really figure out and really think about what the cross of Christ really is and what Jesus did for you. And hang on to that, because Jesus is precious. You guys are precious. You guys are worthy. You guys are worthy. You guys are surviving. You guys are thriving. You guys are healing. You're growing. You guys are doing this. You guys are changing. You guys are like stepping into your divinity. So don't let those thoughts come in to say, no, it's no, that taking one step forward to take 2 steps back, that's over with. That's over with. You guys are doing it. I've seen it. I get to observe from my perspective the things that you guys say in chat and the things that you share with me in emails. Like, you guys are growing. You guys are doing it. So keep going. And I will see you tomorrow. Good night and God bless. And thank you for sharing and joining with me tonight. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 10 o'clock in the evening. Good night and God bless. I love you all. Good night, family. Good night.